Since the writing of the Constitution of America, African Americans have always been seen as less than human. We were deemed 3/5 of a human being. This lack of humanity led to many problems, and these problems still exist to this day. In order for us to move forward as a country, these issues must be addressed. In the beginning of America, even during slavery, African Americans have always been philanthropic. We gave of our time, our talents, and treasures for our very survival. This made sure the next generation had a better quality of life. African American giving was also done unrecognized, unnoticed, behind the scenes, no publicity. This is what we thought we were supposed to do. This is how we were raised, to be able to give our times, talents, and treasures to help anyone in need. Most philanthropy in the African American community is done through our churches. Even though this was met with tremendous backlash, destruction of property, even death, we were excluded from organized traditional philanthropy. However, it did not stop our progress. The greatest social justice movement in this country was the Civil Rights Movement. This movement could only have been done by communities coming together, sharing their times, their talents, and their treasures with one another. This helped our country move forward. Even today, the African American philanthropy goes unrecognized and unnoticed. This is because our giving has been identifying the immediate needs and addressing those in our community. This has left little time for building resources for the future. What do we need? The African American Community Fund. The African American Community Fund was established January 2020 at the Foundation for Appalachian, Ohio. We are committed to gathering and sustaining resources for the 32 counties in Appalachian, Ohio. The African American Community Fund offers an opportunity to create and sustain permanent resources for the African American community in Appalachian, Ohio. Through this philanthropic vision, the African American Community Fund will be able to address disparities in the African American community today, and we'll also be able to address those disparities that rise in the future. Together, we strengthen one another. The African American Community Fund partnered with the Foundation for Appalachian, Ohio, and we're leading the way in Appalachian, Ohio to show what communities can do together to achieve greatness and move forward. By supporting and enhancing strategic initiatives in the African American community, we strengthen not only the African American population, but the population as a whole in the 32 region. Entire communities will benefit. At the end of 2020, the African American Community Fund, thanks to the Foundation for Appalachian, Ohio, partnered up and gave out its first round of grant making. $10,000 were awarded to 6 different organizations in the region. Action. The Alliance for Congressional Transformation in our neighborhoods, they addressed the issue of food deserts, food insecurities. They found ways to prep organic foods and team up with local growers. Go Community Development Corporation. They opened up a shoe closet at their local center. This allowed them to provide shoes to adults and youth during the summer and back to school. Our grant also allowed them to purchase winter attire for individuals in their community. The John G. Black Historical Center. This center had a digital learning initiative. This learning initiative, new technology, and connectivity allows them to have a further outreach about the history of the Underground Railroad. United Returning Citizens. Assisting United Returning Citizens, this group of individuals had essential COVID-19 handmade baskets that were issued to individuals that were incarcerated and those in the community. This gave the individuals a sense of belonging in their community. The Carver Community Center. During the pandemic, many adults had to deal with remote learning. They stepped up and provided daycare, affordable daycare. They provided food. They provided socialization for the children, internet access, all while the caregiver was working. The Underground Railroad Museum. The Underground Railroad Museum had an extensive research where they created a web page where they were able to digitally have individuals come to their site and identify spots to view photos, stories, and pictures to further their education about the Underground Railroad. We have made so much progress in America, and yet we have so much farther to go. If America is going to live up to the promises that she's made on paper, we must all work together as one. How can you help? Go check out the Foundation for Appalachian Ohio and find the African American Community Fund. Any gift that you give, no matter the size, will have an immediate impact and will last for generations to come. Thank you, and God bless you.